The Matzo Ball Fairy by Carla Helmsfeld, illustrated by Vlad Guzner. She's going to make some matzo ball soup, I think. There's a nice big bowl of matzo ball soup. One by one, Frida Pinsky dropped her matzo balls into the big pot of chicken soup. It was the first night of Passover, and the whole Pinsky family was coming to Frida's house for the Seder. "Please be light and fluffy," she pleaded as she stirred the matzo balls around. "Please puff up and float." But the matzo balls just sat on the bottom of the pot like stones. Oh my. Suddenly, a soup bubble popped and splashed, and a tiny plump woman appeared next to Frida's stove. There she is right there. There. Startled, Frida said, "Why, who are you?" The little woman said, "You call that a matzo ball?" What do you think that is? Do you think that's the little fairy? "I am the matzo ball fairy. I come through your soup. And by the way, your matzo balls are not light and fluffy, so I am here to help. I will give you an envelope. You've got to start the soup all over again, but remember, just one pinch is all you need." So Frida started a whole new batch of matzo ball soup. But she did not use just one pinch. She thought, well, if these matzo balls are going to be light and fluffy, maybe I'll just sneak in 2, maybe 3 pinches. That night, all the Pinskys gathered around Frida's table for the Seder. They're all there. Oh, let me try to take a picture that way. There you go. When it was time for the soup, Uncle Solly's eyes opened very wide. "These look delicious. They're so light and fluffy. How did you do it?" "Well, you never ask a cook for their secrets." Well, they each ate some of the matzo balls, and Uncle Solly started to rise in the air. At first, it was only a little bit, but pretty soon he was floating near the ceiling. His family tried to grab at his legs to hoist him down, but they began to lift off the floor too. And soon enough, everyone was floating in the air. "It's the matzo balls!" they exclaimed. She used 3 pinches when the matzo ball fairy clearly said use 1 pinch. Now that they've all become light and fluffy, they can't get to the ground. "Oh no, what have you done?" The matzo ball fairy appeared at Frida's shoulder, says, "I told you, 1 pinch was all you need." "How much did you put in?" Frida didn't really want to say. So they all just gathered round, and Frida made some kugel. And while they were floating around, They ate a piece, and each one of them came back down to the ground. And they are sitting on the sofa now. And that is the story of the matzo ball fairy. Remember, when you are given a recipe, you only have to follow what is in the recipe. Don't add more than what is needed, or you might find yourself floating around